Hello, this is a review of case three for Group One, their analysis of Boston Beer Company. Um, Overall, at a high level, the executive summary does a good job explaining the issues that Boston Beer Company could potentially be facing and their goals and what the company is looking to achieve over the next 3 years and the goal of the overall report, which is to identify solutions that can potentially help them get there. Um, and coming down to the introduction section, there's a lot of detail and a good amount of background information that is provided in the report, but they can certainly do a better job, potentially being a bit more direct and to the point in some of the areas, as the level of detail might not be required for some things. Um, and then additionally, the team could also have potentially included in the introduction a bit more information with regards to the firm's overall competitors, where they stand in the market, and some of the issues they are facing, as is a part of the general introduction paragraph. And then lastly, for the problem statement, um, it's a well thought out problem statement that addresses the problem, but it seems at a high level. It doesn't. It seems as if it's quite broad, and it should potentially focus more on the core issue, why the company hasn't been able to tap into those emerging markets, and that could potentially be the underlying issue here as well.
Our group concurs that the alternatives section is very good. Multiple great alternatives are listed, with a lot of detail behind each alternative. However, some more detail on the implications to the company, such as financial impact, customer awareness, etc., would give management a better understanding of the effects of taking on a particular alternative. In the current descriptions, it is very hard to pick between the alternatives without the numbers, which is definitely the most important part. Something might sound like a good idea, but the data either will or will not back it up. Creating partnerships with local, smaller scale breweries is a fantastic idea. It might have been a good idea to include a potential buyout option of some of the successful partnerships breweries that they would have created. A royalty is great, but in the long term, a strategic buyout may make more sense in terms of brand development and increased revenue and profitability.
In terms of recommendations, a lot of thought was clearly put into which combination of alternatives to move forward with. The evaluation of the combined alternatives, as well as the very detailed step-by-step breakdown of how to implement the proposed changes and turn the company's future around, really makes a lot of logical sense and can be used to bolster the company's growth. However, the one piece of information that was missing from this recommendation was a more broken down financial explanation. While it was provided in the pro forma, it would have also been helpful to see the financial implications with each piece of the proposed recommendation.
For the pro forma, we gave Group 1 a 4 out of 4. They put a lot of detail into their pro forma and were able to justify the projected financials for both the with and without changes implemented from the recommendations based on past data. In addition to putting numerical values to all the projections and showing how both the company would grow and how the independent craft beer market would grow, Group 1 also provided line graphs of the sales, net income, and costs, which are an additional helpful bonus to help us see the projections visually.
Overall, the conclusion is a very good summary of all that was addressed in this case study, providing a brief information on the background, problem statement, alternatives, recommendations, and financial statements of this case study. I also thought the conclusion does a good job summarizing their alternatives and recommendations and relates it to how it will fix the problem statement at its root cause in the future. But one way this could have been improved was that it did not mention the pro forma statements and the anticipated effects of the implemented plan. For example, where there were increases in budget, where that would equal to decreases and why, and basically how the plan will affect the financial statements further. Thank you.